Hi everyone, I'm Wendy, and in today's video, I'm showing you what I'm eating today. And lately, I feel like life has been throwing me some curveballs, so I've had to make my meals even easier and simpler than usual. So I'll show you some of my shortcuts today and how I make my meal prep really fast. As usual, I'll also take you along on my day to show you some of my daily habits. And one of those is to start my day with yoga. Even when I feel like I don't have the time or energy for it, I always try to make myself do a little yoga in the morning. Even if it's just for 5 minutes, doing this first thing ensures that I have at least 5 minutes every day where I just sit and relax before the day's stressors start to come in. Plus, the day just always goes a lot smoother when I do get some stretches in. It's a great way to stretch out that morning stiffness and get ready for my day. And now that I'm done with yoga, I'm having a cup of decaffeinated green tea. The last couple of months, I haven't really been hungry first thing in the morning, so I do my yoga, have my tea, and then I work from home. So I start working for about an hour, and then I'll take a break to have my breakfast. For breakfast, I'm having my usual steel-cut oats and blueberries. I have a whole video showing how I make my oatmeal, so you can watch that if you want to see everything. And like I said, I've been trying to be more efficient with my meal prep. So I've always batch cooked my oatmeal at the beginning of the week, so I have it all week long. But lately, with my mornings being a little more hectic than usual, I've been getting my oatmeal ready the night before. So this saves a couple of minutes of time. Of course, having the batch prepped oatmeal really saves a lot of time already, but getting my single portion ready the night before makes my breakfast that much faster the next morning. I literally just pop it in the microwave for a minute or two and then add some flax seeds. I'm also having a smoothie with breakfast. Usually I have a smoothie with spinach, kale, or power greens, some mango and banana, and soybeans. Sometimes I add celery and cucumbers as well. But today I'm doing a little experimenting. Recently I made a video showing 4 other smoothies I love to make, and since then, I've been thinking of all kinds of other smoothie ideas, so that's what I'm doing today. I'm just testing out one of my ideas. I also prepped all of my smoothie stuff the night before, so this morning before work, I literally just dumped it all in the blender, blended it up, and had it in the fridge, so when I took my break from work, I could just grab it and go. So I'll take these back to my office and eat while I do a little more work. Yes, I know it's preferable not to work and eat, and I would prefer to sit and eat my meal without other distractions, but we can't all be perfect all the time, and sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Hey, I just wanted to jump in for a minute and say a really quick thank you. Thanks to everyone who's been watching and subscribing. Because of you all, I recently became eligible for the YouTube Partner Program, which means that I can now offer things like a membership to my channel. If that's something you all would be interested in, let me know in the comments below. And also let me know what kind of perks you would want as a member. Since I do also have a full-time job, I want to make sure that it's something I can actually deliver on. Right now, I was thinking it could be things like a live Q&A or hangout for members only. If you like that idea or have other ideas, leave those down below. And even if I don't end up doing a membership, I might periodically start doing a live hangout if that's something people would like. So let me know that down below as well. Now let's get back to the What I Eat video. After working for a couple more hours, I'll stop for lunch. Once again, I did a lot of prep ahead of time so that it's really fast and easy to just grab my meal and go. Lately, I've been batch prepping a lot of sweet potatoes just by baking them in the oven and then keeping them in the fridge. And every day for lunch, I grab a sweet potato and usually eat it with some beans and vegetables. Last night, I prepped a bunch of veggies for salads. I have bell peppers, cucumbers, tomatoes, celery, and red onions. I also like to keep whole grains and beans batch prepped either in the fridge or in my freezer. I didn't have any in the fridge right now, so last night I grabbed some out of the freezer. I previously batch cooked some chickpeas, and this is barley and sorghum. While I was prepping my veggies, I roasted the chickpeas with some black pepper and curry powder. Because I did that prep work ahead of time, it takes less than 5 minutes for me to grab my lunch. And I have extras to make lunch for the next couple of days. I'm also adding a chopped apple on my salad, and I even prepped that last night. There are so many different varieties of apples available now at the grocery store, and this is one of my favorites. It's an opal apple, and this variety of apple doesn't oxidize as quickly as most apples. So normally when you chop an apple, it turns brown pretty quickly. But with opal apples, I can chop them the night before, and by lunchtime, they still haven't turned brown. I also made a quick salad dressing. I keep lemon juice frozen in ice cube trays. So I took a couple of cubes of that and threw it in a little mason jar. Then I added a little red wine vinegar, garlic and onion powder, black pepper, dill, parsley, and chives, a little bit of date sugar, and water. I'll shake that up, and by tomorrow, the frozen lemon will be defrosted. I also topped my salad off with a few pumpkin seeds. Eating a really healthy diet can be difficult, and when life gets stressful, it would be easy to just give it up. But in my opinion, that's exactly the time when you need to double down on the healthy eating. When we're stressed, we need our bodies working optimally, so finding any shortcuts you can to make healthy meals get on the table quick and easy is key. I've been practicing headstands and handstands off and on for about 8 or 9 years. But it's kind of like learning a new language. If you don't use it, you lose it. So when I was practicing off and on, I never got very good. But about 2 or 3 years ago, I really started putting some diligent effort into the practice. I had a really solid headstand and was doing pretty good with handstands, so I moved on to trying to work on press handstands. But once again, I let my practice slip, and I haven't really been doing it very much for the last year. So I decided to test it out and see where I was at today. I did a really quick Pilates workout to get myself warmed up, and then it's always a good idea to do some wrist and shoulder stretches and exercises before working on handstands. Not only will this prevent injury, but it actually helps to make your handstands better. I was pleasantly surprised with how steady my handstand was after so much time off. And I didn't want to hurt myself, so instead of doing a press up, I did a reverse press up. So I simply kicked up into a handstand and then slowly came down, which is basically the reverse of the press up. After a few of those, I also worked on my headstands. I do still have my press up from a headstand, which is considerably easier than a handstand press. Another great exercise for working on your handstands is simply to work on endurance. The best way I've found to do this is to turn your face towards the wall. This helps to get you into the proper alignment, and then you can hold it for an extended period of time to work on your stamina. If you're not used to this, I definitely don't recommend just trying it on your own. I took many classes with professionals who know what they're doing before I tried it on my own. And right towards the end of my workout, I decided to go ahead and try my full press handstand. And what do you know, I actually still had one in me. For breakfast and lunch, I prepped food ahead of time to make mealtime really fast and easy. But for dinner, I'm using freezer shortcuts to make it quick. I'm just throwing together a really quick veggie soup, starting with frozen carrot, celery, and onion. Then I had a half a bag of these Chinese stir-fry vegetables left over, so I'm going to put those in there as well. The green beans in this mix are not cut, but I want bite-sized pieces for this soup, so I'm just going to break those up, and then I'll throw the rest of the veggies in. Then for some flavor, I'm adding some hot sauce. This is homemade hot sauce that I made several months ago when I got a bunch of hot peppers in my CSA. That stands for Community Supported Agriculture, and I have a whole playlist of videos that talks all about it. So if you want more information, you can check those out. And even though hot sauce will last for quite a long time in the fridge, I don't eat it very often, so I just froze it into little cubes. And I'll throw one of those into my soup. Then I'm adding some low-sodium vegetable broth. And I'm not measuring anything here, but I'm adding some black pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and some dried parsley. I'm also adding a can of low-sodium kidney beans, which I've drained and rinsed. And I'll put the lid on and just let that heat up. Once that starts bubbling, I'll add some of these millet and rice noodles, which cook in like 4 minutes. So I'll just cook those right in the soup, and once those are done, my soup is ready. Along with dinner, I also had some cabbage and sunflower seeds with my mom's oil-free balsamic vinegar dressing. I've been spending a lot of time with my parents lately, so usually I head over to their house for dinner, and then we've really been enjoying making my chocolate cherry oatmeal as a dessert. I used to eat this all the time, and since I've been going over there for dinner, I shared it with them, and they loved it. And we've literally had it almost every night for the last couple of weeks. You can make more or less depending on how many people you're serving, but we do 1 cup of rolled oats with 2 cups of water. Then we add 3 chopped medjool dates, about a cup of frozen cherries that we chopped, 2 or 3 tablespoons of carob powder, but you could use cocoa or cacao, and finally a little bit of vanilla powder. Sometimes we also add some chopped walnuts. We simply heat that up until it starts to bubble and then cook it for about 5 minutes. It turns out so creamy and delicious, and the three of us love oatmeal so much, so it's a great treat after dinner. And I eat it just like this, but my parents like to add a little bit of soy milk. That's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed seeing what I ate and what I did today. And once again, thank you all for watching and subscribing. I really appreciate all of the support, and I love reading your comments. So thanks again, and I hope to see you next time.